Carla, a trucker with 14 years hauling freight across the U.S., from the dusty plains of Texas to the foggy coasts of Maine. The road's a strange place. Tales of vanishing hitchhikers, CB voices from nowhere, memorials by the roadside that seem to watch you pass. I've heard them all, shrugged them off. I'm a no-nonsense woman. Keep the rig rolling, make the drop, get paid. But in the spring of 2023, on Interstate 80 in Pennsylvania, I met something that made the stories real. They say it's Rebecca Landreth, and she's still out there, waiting by the Mile Run exit. It was just past 2 a.m., and I was hauling a load of furniture from Cleveland to Philly on I-80. The night was cold, the kind that bites through your jacket, with snow flurries dusting the road. I was near the Mile Run interchange in Union County, a lonely stretch surrounded by state forest, when my headlights caught a figure on the shoulder. A woman, tall and thin, in a dark jacket and jeans, her blonde hair catching the light. She stood by a small cross, a roadside memorial, her hand raised like she was hitching a ride. I slowed, heart pounding. Company rules are clear. No passengers, no exceptions. But something about her felt familiar, like I'd seen her face before. Who was she, and why was she out here alone? I kept driving, my eyes flicking to the rear view. She was gone, the memorial cross standing alone in the snow. My cab camera's red light blinked, recording the empty road. The air in the cab turned heavy, thick with a smell like blood and bleach, sharp enough to make my eyes water. My CB, switched off since Cleveland, crackled to life. A woman's voice, soft but broken, whispered, "Carla, don't leave me." My name. My stomach dropped. I yanked the CB plug, but the voice kept going, circling the cab. "Don't leave me." I checked the passenger seat. Empty, just my thermos and a stack of maps. But the smell grew stronger, and the air felt cold, like a freezer door left open. I glanced at the side mirror and my breath caught. Scratch marks, thin, jagged like fingernails, etched the frosted glass, fresh and deep, glinting in the starlight. I hadn't stopped, hadn't touched the mirror, but there they were, clawing into the metal. How did she know my name, and what made those marks? I floored it, the rig roaring through the dark, the forest blurring past. The camera's red light blinked faster, like it was watching me. I tried to focus on the road, but my mind kept flashing to a story I'd heard at a truck stop months before. Rebecca Landreth, a former model, shot 18 times in 2021, her body dumped off I-80's Mile Run exit. The killer, a trucker named Tracy Ray Rollins, was caught after surveillance showed them traveling together from Wisconsin to Pennsylvania. They said he shot her in his cab, left her in the snow like trash. He's locked up now, 40 to 80 years, but drivers whisper about her ghost, seen at night, hitching rides, her voice begging on the CB. I hit a truck stop in Bloomsburg, the lot packed with rigs, the diner's neon sign buzzing "Open." I stumbled inside, the smell of coffee and grease grounding me. The waitress, a woman with a name tag reading Tina, poured me a cup and eyed my face. "You look spooked," she said, her voice low. "You ever hear about a woman on I-80?" I asked, barely above a whisper. "Near Mile Run, blonde, hitching rides?" Her hand froze on the coffee pot. "Rebecca Landreth," she whispered. "The dead model. You saw her, didn't you?" She slid a napkin across the counter, a single word scrawled in pen. "Don't." She walked away, her eyes avoiding mine, like she was afraid to say more. How did Tina know her name, and what was she hiding? I checked my cab camera footage the next day, needing proof it wasn't a dream. The video showed the road, the memorial cross, but no woman, just the empty shoulder, then static, like the tape had been erased. But at 2:03 a.m., for one frame, the passenger seat wasn't empty. A figure, blonde, in a dark jacket, her face blurred but her eyes glowing white, sat there, gone in the next frame. My hand shook as I rewound, watched it again. The scratch marks on the mirror were there too, caught in the side camera's glare. A week later, I was at a bar in Scranton, swapping stories with other drivers. I mentioned the woman, the voice, the footage. Most laughed, called it road fatigue. But an old-timer, his face like cracked leather, didn't. "That's Rebecca," he said, his voice low. "Shot 18 times in a trucker's cab, left in the snow. They caught the guy, Rollins, a Texas driver, but she's still out there. Seen her at Mile Run, hitching, asking to be taken home. Some say she's looking for justice. Others say she's trapped, reliving her last ride." "What does she want?" I asked, my throat dry. He didn't answer, just pointed to a photo on the wall, a faded news clipping from February 2021. It showed the Mile Run exit, a small cross by the ramp, and in the background, barely visible, a figure in a dark jacket, her blonde hair glowing in the snow. On the ground beside her, a black leather glove, crusted with frost, though it was winter. Was that Rebecca, and why was she still here? "I don't drive I-80 anymore, not near Mile Run. I take longer routes, burn more fuel, anything to avoid that stretch. But she follows me. At night when I'm parked, I smell it, blood and bleach, sharp and sickening, seeping into the cab." I hear the CB crackle, though it's unplugged, her voice whispering, "Carla, don't leave me." Last week I found something under my bunk, a black leather glove, stiff with frost, though it was 70 degrees outside. I burned it in a fire pit, watched it curl and blacken, but the smell didn't go away. Last night I was parked at a rest stop in Ohio, miles from Pennsylvania. The CB crackled and her voice came through, clearer now, desperate. "Carla, take me home." I checked the camera feed, my heart pounding, and there she was. The passenger seat, empty, but the belt buckled, like someone was sitting there. In the mirror, I saw them, scratch marks, deeper now, clawing into the glass. A shadow flickered in the sleeper, blonde hair catching the light, gone when I turned. I don't know what Rebecca Landreth is, a ghost, a memory, or something the highway won't let go. I don't know why she chose me or what home she's trying to find. But I know she's out there, on I-80, standing by that cross, watching. And I know, if I ever stop at Mile Run again, she'll climb in. And this time she might not let me go. Will I ever escape the ghost of Rebecca Landreth? If this story gave you chills, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You never know what's coming next. I'm Rosa, a trucker with 10 years hauling freight across Texas, from the Rio Grande to the Panhandle. The highways are my life, dusty, endless, full of whispered stories. Ghostly figures by the roadside, CB chatter from nowhere, crosses marking accidents that never fade. I've heard them all, rolled my eyes, kept driving. I'm a practical woman. Check the load, fuel the rig, make the drop. But in the summer of 2023, on a lonesome stretch of I-35 near San Antonio, I met something that broke me. They say it's the ghost of the San Antonio trailer, and they're still crying out in the heat. It was just past 3 a.m., June, a year after the tragedy that made headlines. I was hauling a load of produce from Laredo to Austin. The road quiet except for the hum of my refrigerated trailer. The air was thick, even at night, the Texas heat clinging like a second skin. My headlights cut through the dark, catching mile markers and the occasional shrine. Crosses, flowers, photos left for those who didn't make it. I was near the Quintana Road exit, where it happened in 2022. 53 migrants suffocated in a sweltering trailer, stacked like cargo, no water, no air. The driver, Homero Zamorano Jr., claimed the AC failed, said he didn't know. 53 lives, gone in the heat. I tried not to think about it, but the air in the cab felt wrong, stifling, like I was breathing through a hot cloth. A smell crept in, faint at first, like sweat and desperation, mixed with something metallic, like blood. My CB was off, but it crackled, spitting static. Then voices, soft, overlapping, pleading in Spanish. Agua, por favor. Water, please. My heart pounded. I checked the passenger seat. Empty, just my logbook and a water bottle. Why was my cab so hot, and who was begging for water? I kept driving, my hands sweaty on the wheel, when my headlights caught something by the Quintana Road exit. Figures, dozens of them, shadowy, standing on the shoulder, their faces blurred but their eyes glowing, fixed on my rig. Men, women, children, their clothes tattered, their hands outstretched. I slowed, my breath catching. They weren't moving, just standing, like a silent vigil. I knew the story. Those 53 migrants, packed in a trailer, paying thousands for a chance at a new life, only to die in 100-degree heat. I told myself it was my imagination, road fatigue, but the voices came again, louder from the CB. Rosa, Ayuda, help, my name. I yanked the CB plug, but the voices didn't stop, circling the cab, desperate and choking. Ayuda, agua. The smell grew stronger, thick with sweat and blood, and the cab felt hotter, the air heavy, like I was trapped inside a sealed trailer. I checked the rear view, and my blood ran cold. Scratch marks, jagged, frantic, like fingernails clawing for air, etched the frosted glass of my side mirror, glinting in the moonlight. How did they know my name, and what made those marks? I floored it, the rig roaring, the figures fading into the dark. My reefer unit hummed louder, too loud, like it was struggling to keep the load cold. I glanced at the temperature gauge, 100 Deuterf inside the trailer, climbing fast, though it should have been 35 degrees for the produce. My stomach twisted. I hadn't checked the unit since Laredo, but it was working fine then. I wanted to pull over, to check, but my gut screamed to keep moving. The voices followed, whispering through the cab, now in English. Rosa, don't leave us. I didn't stop until I hit a truck stop in New Braunfels, its lot packed with rigs, the diner's neon sign buzzing like a lifeline. I stumbled inside, the smell of coffee and fried eggs cutting through the stench still clinging to me. The waitress, a woman with a name tag reading Maria, poured me a cup and noticed my hand shaking. You okay, mija? She said, her voice soft but sharp. You ever hear about anything weird on I-35? I asked, my voice low. Near Quintana Road, voices, figures by the exit. Her face paled. She leaned in, whispering, the San Antonio trailer. You heard them, didn't you? She slid a napkin across the counter, a single word scrawled in pen. Don't. She walked away, her eyes avoiding mine, like she was afraid to stay near me. What did Maria know, and why was she scared to talk? I checked my cab camera footage the next day, needing proof I wasn't losing it. The video showed the road, the Quintana Road exit, but no figures, just empty asphalt, the memorial crosses glinting in the dark. But at 3:07 a.m., the passenger seat flickered. Faces, blurred, desperate, eyes glowing white, appeared for a split second, then vanished. The audio caught it. Agua, Rosa. My hands shook as I rewound, watched again. The scratch marks on the mirror were there, too, caught in the side camera's glare, deeper now, like hands clawing to get out. I sent the footage to my boss, expecting a lecture about sleep deprivation. He didn't reply, just called and told me to take a week off, no questions asked. That wasn't normal. Bosses don't let you slide without paperwork. A week later, I was at a bar in Austin, swapping stories with other drivers. I mentioned the voices, the figures, the footage. Most laughed, called it a ghost story, but an old-timer, his face weathered like the desert, didn't. You met them, he said, his voice low. The ghosts of the San Antonio trailer. What do you know about them? I asked, my throat tight. He leaned in, eyes dark. June 2022, 53 migrants died on that road. Packed in a reefer, no air, no water, 100 degrees inside. Driver claimed he didn't know the AC was busted, but they paid thousands to die like that. Now they're stuck, haunting I-35, begging for help they never got. Drivers see them at night, hear them on the CB, find scratches on their rigs. They're looking for someone to listen. What do they want? I said, my voice shaking. He didn't answer, just pointed to a photo on the wall. A news clipping from June 2022, showing the Quintana Road exit. A trailer surrounded by police tape. Crosses already sprouting by the road. In the corner, barely visible, were figures, blurred, their eyes glowing, standing in the heat haze. On the ground beside them, a black leather glove, crusted with frost, though it was summer. Were those the migrants, and why were they calling me? I don't drive I-35 anymore, not near Quintana Road. I stick to northern routes, cooler roads, where the air doesn't choke you. But they follow. At night, when I'm parked, I smell it. Sweat, blood, desperation, seeping into the cab. I hear the CB crackle. Though it's unplugged, their voices pleading. Rosa! Agua! Last week I found something under my bunk. A black leather glove, stiff with frost, though it was 90 degrees outside. I burned it in a fire pit, watched it curl and blacken, but the smell didn't go away. Last night, I was parked in Oklahoma, miles from Texas. The reefer unit kicked on, unprompted, the gauge reading 100 jacks. The CB crackled, and their voices came through, louder, desperate. Rosa, don't leave us. I checked the camera feed, my heart pounding, and there they were, shadows in the passenger seat, faces blurred, hands clawing at nothing. In the mirror, I saw them. Scratch marks, deeper now, etched into the glass like a plea. A shadow flickered in the sleeper, gone when I turned, but the crosses from Quintana Road burned in my mind. I don't know what the ghosts of the San Antonio trailer are, spirits, memories, or something the highway won't release. I don't know why they chose me, or what help they're begging for. But I know they're out there, on I-35, standing by those crosses, watching. And I know if I ever stop at Quintana Road again, they'll climb in, and this time, they might take me with them. Will I ever escape the ghosts of the San Antonio trailer? If this story gave you chills, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You never know what's coming next.